Okay, so what if the French wouldn't have interfered during the American Revolution? What would have happened? In 1756 to 1763 was the 7 Years' War. France lost to Britain in the 7 Years' War, which caused him to be very envious. King Louis was so envious that he did anything in his power to make the British monarch angry or to get revenge on them for losing the 7 Years' War. In 1776, Benjamin Franklin went to France to convince the French government to join them, to aiding them in the American Revolution. French got involved in 1775. The French monarch perceived the Americans' ideal for revolution against Britain. They perceived it as the Enlightenment spirit against the English tyranny. So the French secretly sold gunpowder and guns to America under the Portuguese company, Rodrigues Hortes El Campagne. Most of the shipping and trading happened through the neutral Dutch West Indies port of St. Eustace. The French gave Americans their general, and they gave them navies to help them fight against Britain. So a French fleet under the command of Admiral de Grasse attacked the British naval fleet and forced it to withdraw, which allowed the French to attack General Cornwallis at the Yorktown Peninsula. The French stopped helping the Americans secretly, and they came on the open and became allied forces with colonists. They sent Admiral Rochambeau over to America with 10,000 soldiers to fight in the war. The colonists won the war with the French's aid. Okay, so now, what if the French would have won the 7 Years' War, and Britain would have lost the battle? Here's how it would play out. So, if the French would have won the 7 Years' War in 1756 to 1763, the French wouldn't have a grudge against Britain, and they really wouldn't have any motivation to even join the colonists to fight against Britain. Like, why would they do it? They have their own economy and people to worry for. So in 1776, when Benjamin Franklin went to France to enlist the help from the French monarch, King Louis would have declined his request. His advisors wouldn't find any gain in fighting the British, because they have already defeated Britain in the 7 Years' War in 1756. King Louis' advisor would have told him that there would be no gain from aiding the colonists in the war against Britain. So, if the France doesn't help the colonists to fight Britain, that means the Americans wouldn't have been able to arm the Continental Army with enough munitions and guns and bullets. The Continental Army doesn't even have a navy. How would they have even created the blockades to stop British naval ships from getting in? And the battle at the Yorktown Peninsula would have ended different. The Continental Army wouldn't have been able to corner General Cornwallis due to the Americans' lack of a navy. Cornwallis would have been able to take on Washington's army and destroy them, thus getting Washington captured, ending the American Revolution. Britain would have seized control of the colonies and taxed them for years. And the people in France probably wouldn't have revolted, because France wouldn't have lent millions and millions of dollars to the colonists to help fight a revolution against Britain. They probably wouldn't have revolted. Yeah. And that is my project about what if.